Welcome to American Current Affairs, and we have some absolutely massive breaking news for you today. I mean, just try to imagine waking up to find out that the United States military has just captured the president of another country. This isn't a movie plot. This is real life, and it's happening right now. In a move that has absolutely stunned the globe, U.S. Special Forces have taken Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro into custody.
And then came this: "We run Venezuela now." Yep, those are the exact words from President Donald Trump, speaking just hours ago. It's a statement that has sent absolute shockwaves across the entire planet, from Washington to Caracas, all the way to the United Nations. So the huge question is, how on earth did we get here? Let's break it all down.
So here's what we know. Sometime in the dead of night, an elite team of U.S. soldiers executed a lightning-fast raid on a compound in Venezuela. Their one and only target was President Nicolás Maduro, and they got him. As we speak, he and his wife are in U.S. custody, right here on American soil, about to face some very serious federal charges.
All right, so the next big question is, how did they even pull this off? I mean, let's be crystal clear. This was not some simple arrest. We are talking about a massive, incredibly complex, and high-stakes military operation. The mission had a code name, Operation Absolute Resolve, and the team they sent in to do it, the U.S. Army's elite Delta Force. You know, when the stakes are this high, when a mission has absolutely zero room for failure, these are the operators who get the call.
And the scale of this thing was just immense. Get this, more than 150 aircraft were launched from 20 different bases. The helicopters carrying the soldiers were flying just 100 feet above the Caribbean Sea to stay completely off the radar. While that was happening, drones, bombers, and fighter jets were systematically taking down all of Venezuela's air defenses. Officials say that after a very brief firefight at his compound, Maduro and his wife simply gave up. And just like that, they were in the air and out of the country.
Okay, so that's the how. But what about the why? Why do this now? What could possibly trigger such a drastic move? Well, the White House is pointing to a criminal indictment that they've just unsealed, and let me tell you, the charges inside are absolutely explosive.
The central charge is narco-terrorism. It's a heavy one. It basically means you're using drug trafficking money to fund terrorist organizations. And you have to understand, this part is so important. The US is framing this not as an act of war, but as a law enforcement operation. They're saying, hey, we're not invading a country, we're arresting a wanted criminal. It's a legal distinction that has massive implications for how the world sees this.
So what does this indictment actually say? Well, it alleges a gigantic corruption scheme. It claims Maduro used his power as president to partner up with drug traffickers and narco-terrorists. And we're not talking small-time stuff. It alleges he helped move thousands of tons of cocaine into the United States, all to get rich and to enrich his family and his inner circle. And when you actually look at the document itself, you can see this isn't some new charge they just cooked up. The indictment alleges this criminal conspiracy goes all the way back to 1999. And it's not just Maduro on the hook. His wife is named, his son is named, and a whole list of other high-ranking officials are named too. It paints a picture of this whole thing as a family-run criminal enterprise.
The list of alleged partners in this scheme reads like a who's who of the most dangerous groups in the Western Hemisphere. You've got the FARC and ELN guerrillas from Colombia. You've got the Sinaloa cartel and the Zetas from Mexico. I mean, these are some of the most violent organizations on the planet. And it even names Venezuela's own powerful gang, Tren de Aragua. It's a pretty damning list of associates.
So, as you can probably imagine, back here in the United States, an operation this huge and this dramatic has kicked off an absolute political firestorm.
The country is completely divided, and the debate really boils down to this one question. Was this a justified arrest, or was it an act of war? On one side, critics are calling it an illegal war for oil, a dangerous distraction, and an attack on another country that was done without any approval from Congress. But on the other side, supporters are saying, no way, this was a totally justified police action to take a dangerous criminal off the board, and they're pointing to videos of people celebrating in Venezuela as proof.
And this split goes right to the top in Washington. Democrats like Senator Tim Kaine are flat out calling this an illegal war and are demanding answers right now. Even some Republicans are raising their eyebrows, asking why Congress wasn't told about this sooner. But the president's supporters are holding the line, defending this as a necessary and totally legal law enforcement operation.
Okay, let's zoom out now, because this is not just an American story. The entire world is watching and reacting to this, and the responses are a mix of total shock, alarm, and in some places, believe it or not, celebration. At the United Nations, the U.S. ambassador is sticking to the script, making it very clear, this is not regime change, this is justice. But the United Nations itself has a totally different take. The Secretary General called the U.S. action a dangerous precedent and said he is deeply concerned that the rules of international law have not been respected. I mean, that is a huge rebuke on the world stage.
And what about inside Venezuela? It's a tale of two completely different realities. Maduro's vice president and what's left of his government are calling this a barbaric, illegal, and illegitimate kidnapping. But then you go online, and social media is just exploding with videos of people in the streets of Caracas celebrating, waving flags, and literally thanking the United States.
And now other major world powers are getting involved. We're hearing that Colombia, Russia, and China have all formally requested an emergency meeting of the UN Security Council. This is escalating into a major international crisis, and it's happening fast.
So, with the entire world watching, the billion-dollar question on everyone's mind is, what in the world happens next?
Well, President Trump has laid out a four-step plan. First, he says the U.S. is going to temporarily run the country. Then the plan is to rebuild the nation's oil infrastructure, paid for by oil companies, he says, and get the oil flowing again. After that, he says the U.S. will sell that oil on the world market. The ultimate goal, according to the White House, is to eventually oversee a safe, proper, and judicious transition of power.
But that plan just raises a million more questions, doesn't it? I mean, what does it actually mean for the U.S. to run another country? Is what's left of Venezuela's military just going to stand by, or will they fight back? What kind of message does this send to other adversaries around the world, like Cuba? And how will the UN and the rest of the world really respond when the dust settles? These are the huge unknowns that will define this crisis.
So, we're at a historic crossroads here. Is this the start of a brand new era of American justice where the U.S. goes after anyone it indicts? Or is this a dangerous return to foreign intervention? Right now, nobody knows for sure. The entire world is holding its breath, waiting to find out.
Look, this story is moving at lightning speed, and it is far from over. We are going to be right here, breaking down every single new development as it happens. So, to stay informed on this and all the other major stories, make sure you hit that subscribe button for America Current Affairs. Thanks for watching.